Today is the 12th day of June 2020. Yesterday, the 11th day of June 2020, ex-Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, confirmed what Kai Mills knew all along. And I keep telling them, all they gotta do is watch my videos and the truth will come out. Unfortunately, Dr. Sands didn't have the internal fortitude to do his job completely. I was not impressed by his speech because I know the truth will eventually come out. Only one thing that Dr. Dwayne Sands didn't do was apologize to Kai Mills, because back then he called me an absolute liar because I smelled the dead bodies, I saw the flies, I knew the numbers. This world and Bahamas is what they were doing with me all along. Had the police and the defense force harassing and intimidating me because the government of the Bahamas didn't want the world, and indeed Abaco, to know the numbers. I've already said, when they said 50, when Dr. Sands said there were 50 bodies in the trailer, I counted over 12 bodies since that number came out, but they still stuck to 50. So what happened to these other bodies? They weren't buried? Were they cremated? Were they thrown away? Thousands of people, they said, hundreds of people. You imagine the government of the Bahamas refused to tell its citizen the truth? While the world is watching, the world already knew the answer. They knew that there were hundreds of bodies. And what the government has done by not telling you the right numbers has not brought closure. There's a lot of people that can't get insurance. They can't get a death certificate. We in the Bahamas to date don't even know the names of the dead. Dr. Sands said they took the names from him, passed it on to somebody else. After he said there was thousands missing, this prime minister didn't want the truth to come out. To date, the truth still is not out because we don't know the names, we don't know the number, nor do we know the numbers of the dead. This we're asking, and we're asking from the government of the Bahamas, this F&M government, an apology. Dr. Sands also need to apologize to Kai Mills and the Bahamian people because under his leadership as minister, he refused to tell the truth. Now that he doesn't have that responsibility, all of a sudden he have a heart, he have a soul, and he have a conscience. Where was his heart, his soul, and his conscience when he had ministerial permission? That is when he really needed to speak out. Like Kai Mills has been speaking out while they're sicking the police force and the defense force on me daily, disallowing me to come to Abaco so I could tell the truth, disallowing me to attend the funeral to see if there is actually 50 bodies in the casket. To date, I don't believe there were bodies in there. But what happened to the additional bodies that they found in the Peace when they went beyond the fence and they went closer to Dove Plaza and cleaned up that area? They were finding bodies in there daily after the government said that they had 50 bodies. So what happened to those bodies? They didn't deserve a burial. They didn't deserve a casket. That K. Forbes Smith and Hiram Lewis, the incompetent authority, said that's enough. That's enough recognition. The dead don't need no more casket. What happened to the trailer that the dead was in? Can we trust the incompetent authority? What if, after they took 50 supposedly bodies out the trailer, what did they do with these other bodies? Where's that trailer today? Did anybody besides the incompetent authority looked in that trailer to make sure that all the bodies were out of there? No. As Dr. Sands gave his debate yesterday, it is evident what Kai Mills has been saying all along is that you cannot trust this FNM government. Even up to the Prime Minister is not trustworthy. In a time when we need answer, the people that's supposed to give you the answer, they are being corrupt to the core and not giving you the right numbers nor the answer. I thought it was very interesting that everybody at the shelter could walk to the shelter, but when Kai Mills came to the hurricane shelters in Nassau, they disallowed me to come into the shelters. All the Haitians, everybody could come into the shelter, but Kai was not allowed to come into the shelters because they didn't want the raw truth. I was telling the truth about the numbers, and the government was blocking that. You all saw the videos. Even the administrator under Dr. Dwayne Sands, he walked 500 feet from the clinic, from being the administrator inside the clinic, outside the clinic on the road, and trying to discamera me and trying to intimidate me and saying that I have no permission to film the trailer 500 feet away, 500 yards away. Then the defense force came with armed men, blocked my view, came out with their guns, and asked me to stop taking film of a trailer while I was out off the government road on the side of the road. Now the truth is finally out. How are we going to get the answer? The correct answer. Everybody that lost somebody in that trailer has a lawsuit against this white nothing FNM government. A clear lawsuit. There's no judge in this country that I know will be remorseful towards this FNM government because they know the truth. The minister has just vindicated and agreed with everything that Kai Mills has been telling you over the months. Only one thing he haven't done is apologize to Kai Mills. Apology to Abaconians doesn't make any sense to date. We just want answers. We want the truth answer. This government said they were going to be transparent, but they have been nothing short of absolutely liars, hiding and distorting the truth. And when somebody like Kai Mills come out and try to tell the truth, they want to put me before the courts. They want to intimidate me, threaten me. Only I want the truth and want the world to know the truth about what has happened so that we could learn not to make the same mistake. And if we don't get the truth, how could we learn and be better as a country? How could the citizen of the Bahamas trust this government when the worst event of the modern Bahamas has happened and the government has been so untruthful, even to death and burial, and afterwards they continue to be untruthful to the Bahamian people and indeed Abaco. We're hoping that after Dr. Sands, the ex-minister of health, testimony yesterday, that the government collectively can come together and finally let Kai Mills, the world, and the Bahamas know who the dead were and how many, because they have the numbers. Why today? It's a big question. Why are they being untruthful to the Bahamian people? You're live with Kai as the truth is finally surfacing. I told you the truth is like diesel. You put it on the bottom of the ocean, it will eventually surface to the top. You're live with Kai on the 12th day of June 2020, when the minister, ex-minister of health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, has finally come out and told y'all, the Bahamas, what Kai knew all along, that the Bahamas government is being untruthful to its citizens. You're live with Kai on WCAY.